Hi there. I'm back again with more on the political debacle that's happening here in our country. I just wanted to touch on something that I heard our president say to some of the employment magnates around the country. It was regarding the troops coming home. He was going on to say that they need to create jobs and make jobs for the troops because they're deserving. Let's just get one thing straight. The troops are not in need of a job. They already have a job. Isn't their job to help protect our country? Then they have jobs. This country needs protected. We've got a border problem that is still just bloated and just way out of proportion. Put some of the troops down there to augment police departments all around our nation, because we still have crime. I'm sure the police departments would, be grateful for any help that could be given to them, and just generally protecting our borders. Tunnels are being dug from our neighbor to the south, Mexico, up here. I think it was about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, one of the most sophisticated tunnels they found, and they found over 70 in the past few years. But this one was the most sophisticated. Well, put our troops over there. The troops have jobs. The deployment now will be in the United States instead of protecting somebody else's shores and borders. And yeah, go ahead and preach to the employment moguls to create jobs, but to create those jobs for the people that are out of work. I just don't get how these political people can trip over themselves like that. I mean, are they really that stupid, or do they not care, or is it a combination of both? I mean, if I were going to be a presidential candidate, I wouldn't waste my time backbiting someone that's already in office. That's not what we need. I certainly, sure as hell, wouldn't backbite the people in my own party. They can't even agree with the people in their own party. Look at Gingrich and Paul and Kane and all these people in the same party. They can't even come together. They're fighting and biting each other. I would get rid of both parties and have Repair America Party, because that's what we need. We need to repair America. And the general American public does not need, at this point in time, to see people sitting up backbiting and complaining and one-upsmanship and mudslinging and all that crap. What good does it do? It does no good at all. City government, state government, all of them, they're just, I hate to say it, but they're idiots. They're not running the thing as it should be run. They're not making the tough calls. We got prisons loaded up with prisoners. Why? We spend per capita more on prisoners than we do for school children. I mean, hardened criminals who've basically been caught with the smoking gun in their hand or the dripping knife. What the hell are you saving them for? They're not going to gain interest. Get rid of them. I mean, hello? And then you got these bleeding heart liberal groups like the ACLU. Oh, well, that's cruel and unusual punishment. Well, what about the victim? Do you think killing somebody in cold blood, stabbing them to death like the people you see on Criminal Minds, eating their fingers and drinking their blood and all these gruesome things is wonderful for the victims? And then you send them to prison to get fat and to pump iron so that they look like Superman on steroids? How in the hell is that helping society? Get rid of the bastard. But no, they just make all these ludicrous, stupid decisions, and then they, want you to elect them again. Well, what the hell did you do in the first place to warrant my wanting to re-elect you? American politics is a joke. Crime, gun control, all of these things. I mean, you look at our neighbor to the north, Canada. Yeah, they got their problems too, but they don't have as many as we do. because they're promoting different things than we are. Go to the store this Christmas. What toy is going to be outsold over all of them? Gun. Video games. Which ones are going to be sold more than any of them? Shoot 'em ups. Anything that requires violence or death is going to sell. The same with movies. Same with every type of entertainment. We're bombarded with it. It's thrown in our faces all the time. Well, back in the day, we didn't have that kind of stuff. You know, when we had the Hayes office, they, kind of policed the movies, television, things of that sort. We had a, much better society. Government is the degradation of this nation, and probably all the nations around the world. But when you think of a candidate for this year, or next year, excuse me, you better really do some thinking. Because, yeah, we have the power to vote for him, but we don't have the power to make him do or make her do what needs to be done. Once they get in office, that's it. You're stuck with the bastard for 4 years, possibly 8. And they'll make all these grandiose promises. I promise a chicken in every pot of car, a new car in every garage, and a new home and all of this and that. We're going to have change, and yes we can, and no we can't, and maybe we shouldn't, and all of this kind of garbage. But when they get there, it's business as usual. Because it can never be anything but that, because it's designed that way. If you put a team of presidents in there, they probably couldn't fix this mess. It's too far gone, and now it's come our way. So the best we can do is try to make living conditions a little better than they are. Because $15 trillion in debt? You're borrowing from the Chinese? And then you turn around and you're thumbing your nose at them because you're trying to help these other people. And the stuff we're getting from China isn't that great. You buy something from China, it falls apart before you can get home with it. You got to go back and replace it. So, I mean, it's just a big convoluted mess. And it's never going to be, it's never going to be solved. So we as American people need to get that in our minds. I'm not trying to be pessimistic here. I'm just trying to be realistic. We're never going to get this thing done. It's too far gone. And as long as you got them creeps over there in Washington, there's a lousy guarantee that it's ever going to happen. Because all they're there to do is smile and profile. One thing before closing this segment, I heard on the news, the wonderful news, how they were going to have a secret Santa. The people in Congress, the people across the aisle, the Democrats and the Republicans, they're going to have a secret Santa. And the minimum or maximum cost for the present is $10. And the commentator said, well, isn't that cute?
You sounded like he meant it.
Hey, he did sound like, somebody get me a bucket because I think I'm going to lose my breakfast here. Those bastards aren't going to be just held at $10 for a secret Santa. It's more like $10,000, and guess who's picking up the tab? Us. The card, the Christmas card that they'll put with the darn secret Santa present will probably have a $10 limit. Stay tuned because there will be more. Thank you for listening.